It's time for a little comedy, a little content, and a lot of conversation. It's the Geno Jones Show, exclusively right here on YouTube. Now here's your host, Geno Jones.
Hey, what's happening? And I got my audio working tonight. It is time for the Geno Jones Show. I'm coming to you live, yes, live in a living color. So Monday through Friday, my normal start times and days are Monday through Friday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern. So right now, Charleston, South Carolina Metro, 6:30, about 6:31-ish. Up in New York City, stand up Philly, stand up Pittsburgh, stand up Pennsylvania, stand up, show out, vote early, 6:30. DC, Virginia, stand up. Maryland, 6:30. Charlotte, North Carolina, vote early, stand up, vote for freedom, vote for your freedom and your family's freedom. It is a choice between freedom and your family's freedom and friends and co-workers, freedom or oppression. It is that choice. Down in ATL, Georgia, stand up. All right, my Democrats, I'm gonna need y'all to really, y'all doing pretty good, but Democrats, stand up, Georgia, show up, show out, because the cult, they're showing up, so we need you to show up. But now, let me say something real quick. Oh, it's going to be a big surprise. I am naming it, and I'm naming and claiming, and I am predicting, and I am not in the prediction business. But oh, this MAGA cult's going to be surprised, because a significant enough number of Republican ballots are going to have Kamala Harris and Tim Walz checked. I'm just telling you. I'm telling you what I feel. I'm telling you what I am hearing from white people who have never voted for a Democrat, who never thought they would vote for a Democrat, who even voted for Orange Hitler once or twice. They was like, shh, don't tell nobody. But I'm voting for Kamala Harris. Oh yeah, and I'm white. I'm a white woman. I heard two women on the radio. One was in tears. One told a story about she was in a store, and it was 20 other people, and somebody asked her, who did she vote? She said, I am voting to make my grandchildren proud. And the guy said, I guess the co-worker said, so did I. And so they knew they weren't talking about Orange Hitler. She said, I'm paraphrasing, I am voting to make my granddaughter proud and for her freedoms. And other people, she turned around, she said it was like 20 people in the store and other people turned around. She turned around, she was ready because she just knew. Now this was a white woman. I heard her. Shout out to Karen Hunter. I got to give Karen Hunter her props on Sirius XM Urban View. Vice President Kamala Harris, you should definitely go on Karen Hunter's show. And Karen didn't pay me to say that. But she's a fellow Taurus with sisters. She's a national treasure. I love her. So you should come on this show. Absolutely. The Geno Jones Show. It is no show like this in the history of this universe and solar system. Galaxy. All of that. Whatever's the biggest, all of it. But shout out to Karen Hunter. So you really should go on Karen Hunter's show. Absolutely. At Sirius XM. I digress. Let's go back to the story. So the woman turned around. The white woman said she turned around and was ready because she just thought it was, the MAGA cult was coming. And she said, like everybody smiled at her. And one or two people said, so did I. So I'm just telling you, you heard it here first. But we can't take that chance. Democrats, I'm going to need you all to show up and show out like never before. ATL, Georgia, down in Florida. We can make this happen in Florida because you got that MAGA governor and you got an abortion ballot you have the abortion amendment on the ballot, basically to make abortion, access to abortion health care, the law of the land in Florida, because your MAGA governor took away those rights, and women are, and unfortunately will die as long as these 6-week abortion bans stay on the books, stay the law of the land in states like Florida and here in South Carolina, in Alabama, Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Tennessee. Come on now, stand up, stand up. So 5:30 Chicago, watching me live a little after 5:30 because I can talk about 3 or 4 minutes. So come on to 5:30 Chicago time up in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Yes, Wisconsin, stand up. Minneapolis, stand up. Big shout to Detroit City. They're on East Coast time, 6:30 p.m. Miss Keela Carson. And big shout out to Eminem, who is going out campaigning for Vice President Kamala Harris, soon to be President-elect Kamala Harris, speak it into existence, name it and claim it. Big shout out to Eminem, who really has never been effing with Trump and who's made some songs and so he said he is going out to campaign for president, soon to be President-elect Kamala Harris with President Obama, and said basically, yo, if you are an Eminem fan, you got to choose. You choosing me or Orange Hitler? Because if you choosing Orange Hitler, but you claim you are an Eminem fan, you ain't a fan. And I ain't rocking with you, and you are not rocking with me. And big shout out to Eminem, because he still got juice, and he definitely got juice in Detroit, because that's his home, that's his hometown. So a shout out to Eminem, Mr. Marshall Mathers. Shout out to you, Marshall Mathers. You did your thing, Em. I'm proud of you, brother, and all my white brothers and sisters that's standing up, because this freedom and oppression, this democracy or dictator, like I said, your whiteness is not going to protect you. Your whiteness and your wealth is not going to protect you. It is not. You can kiss all the ass you want to Orange Hitler. He don't give a damn about you. If he doesn't respect the men and women of the military that literally give their life, the women that have died, men and women that have died for this country, he's called them to generals in the military, losers and suckers. Can you imagine saying that to a general? Oh, they're losers and suckers for dying. And your punk ass was too coward to go to Vietnam. You got bone spurs. But the bone spurs don't bother you when you're out there on the golf course, but your daddy got you out of going to Vietnam because you had bone spurs and found a doctor to go ahead and sign a note, a letter, because he's got bone spurs and he can't serve with your little punk ass. And how you gonna disrespect men and women in the military and men and women that gave their life up? By the way, West Coast, I come on at 3:30 p.m., so shout out to everybody on the West Coast, but I'm already into the monologue. I have never served a second in the military, but I have the absolute respect for everybody, anybody, even the racist MAGA. I respect your service, but I despise and detest your ignorance and your racism and your bigotry, because you disrespect that uniform that you wear, because you take an oath to defend the Constitution. Not a man, not a woman, not a person. You take an oath to defend the Constitution and protect this country from all enemies, foreign and domestic, including MAGA cult members and former president, wannabe dictator, Orange Hitler, little punk ass coward, adjudicated, found liable for sexual assault, rape, according to a judge. That's not my opinion. That's what a judge in New York said, that the evidence in a civil trial found that he was guilty of rape. But it was a civil trial, so all they could do was fine him, and that's why the sister, white sister E. Jean Carroll, is waiting for her, close to $100 million. So you need to run that check, Orange Hitler, partner. So for all those in the military, all these macho dudes, you know, these alpha males and all that, and I'm about to lean into like the men, period. Oh, and then I'm not just coming for black men, but first of all, the majority of black men are voting for Vice President Kamala Harris. The majority of black men have always voted for democracy over dictatorship or racism or fascism or slavery or Jim Crow. So let's just set the record straight, because the reason we need to have more black-owned media and just media that's gonna give it to you straight, is my grandmother say, Jeannie, tell the truth and shame the devil. The truth is, the majority of black men, roughly, Vice President Kamala Harris is gonna get about minimum 85%. 85%, even if it was 80%. 8 8 to 8.5 out of 10 black men are going to vote for vice. That's voting. That's going to vote. I should say for vice, soon to be, because I keep saying vice president, but the spirit is telling me, Geno, keep speaking it into existence. Name and claim, soon to be president-elect Kamala Harris. Roughly 8.5 out of 10 black men are going to vote for president-elect soon to be Kamala Harris. 9.5 out of 10 black women are going to vote for Vice President Kamala Harris. Now we have some, and I'm finding out some of you all, the small minority, and it's not just black men, Hispanic men. I got something for you. I'm coming your way. And you MAGA white dudes, I'm coming for you too, because you think this MAGA, this cult, is gonna protect you from this dude. Because the minute you get sideways or that you want to speak up, or you feel that you haven't gotten what you wanted, and you try to buck up and stick your chest out and be a man and take them on, the cult will come for your ass like they did for Mike Pence. Mike Pence was loyal. He kissed Orange Hitler's ass for 4 years. And the one time that he wouldn't do it, because he said, no, this is a bridge too far. You lost the election, and I am not going to do anything. I am going to do my part to engage in a peaceful transfer of power. And the MAGA cult literally, physically came for Mike Pence with a what they call a gallows, with the whole hangman's, the noose and the wood, the whole apparatus that it was attached to. They came for an old, wealthy white dude that had been loyal and kissing Trump's ass for 4 years up to that point. So if you don't think that this cult and this dude who don't give a damn about, he don't even give a damn about his own family. The only person, his old, fat, unhealthy, greasy food eating, walking picture of unhealth. Because I really was going to go in. I guess I should. But nonetheless, he doesn't give a damn about nobody but himself. And he really don't give a damn about himself, because he doesn't even take care of himself. Just look at him. Looking like a slob. But he's dangerous. And the bad part is the people around him are more dangerous, because they are just utilizing him, and he's too stupid to know it, because he's so needy, and all you got to do is pay him a compliment and he'll love you. And the real dangerous people in the MAGA cult, the racists and misogynists that really want to turn this into a dictatorship like Russia with Putin, and take us, because they already got the new Jim Crow laws part 2. That's what Project 2025 is. 922 pages of all new Jim Crow era, Jim Crow part 2 laws, and then the whole laws for suffrage, oppressed black people, all people of color, women, gays, lesbian, LGBTQ community, trans community, and they distract you. Oh, you don't want boys playing girls' sports. Stop it. Trust me, if you got a daughter, the odds of a trans woman competing and playing sports against your daughter is like 1 in probably, let's put it this way. Your daughter has a better chance of being a superstar in the WNBA. She got a better chance of beating Simone Biles in gymnastics than she does of running into some trans woman that she's got to worry about competing with, that's going to take her spot on some team. They use this hate and fear. Do you understand that hate, fear, ignorance, bigotry in all of its forms, including misogyny and sexism and homophobia, has always been big business? Please understand, game recognized game. That is the title of my book. It was an audio book about relationships and why men do what they do in relationships, but it's a metaphor for life. Game recognized game. And when you see game, You recognize game. And the game is to Orange Hitler, Donald Trump, either you are the con man, you are the master con man, or you are the suckers and losers. And that's how he referred to men and women that gave their life for their country and called them suckers and losers because they weren't getting enough money out of it. Goes to show you how warped and narrow-minded and just shallow this man is, and this cult behind him. This word about, oh, the whites are going to be replaced. First of all, dumbass, goes to show you all that money that your parents spent for you to go to these Ivy League schools, you need to get a refund, because what they should have taught you at these Ivy League schools is that this whole construct, this concept of whiteness that you say is being replaced, it never existed in science, in biology, the human genome. There is no, get a blood test. You can go to any place and we'll go ahead and check your DNA. All right, they have all these places where you can give blood and they'll go ahead and trace your DNA. And I guarantee you, I'll bet you a lifetime salary to $1. When the DNA results come back, it will never say that you were 100% white or black. This whole concept of race and whiteness was made up way back in the late 1680s. Way back in the 17th century in Europe, and they imported and brought that shit here. And it was created by a small handful of people who controlled the economic, social, and political power. So they could maintain and get more economic, always follow the money. Because at the end of the day, it always, if you break it down like a fraction, like a math problem, like a fraction in algebra or math, break it down to its least common denominator. Or as my grandfather, Conway Jones, rest in power, Mr. Joe Madison, rest in power, Sirius XM Urban View used to say, they would say, my grandfather would say, Jeannie, put it where the goats can get it. That meant break it down where people can understand it at any level. Always follow the money. Small handful of people, way back in Europe, 1680s, came up with this concept of whiteness. Europeans never referred to themselves as white. And then when it was imported here to America, there was only a few people, there was only like an elite class, like the billionaire class, now the elites as they called them. They were the only ones that referred to themselves and their family as white. And the interesting thing that many people who call themselves white, a part of this MAGA cult, your ancestors weren't considered white. When the first Irish immigrants weren't considered white, they were looked at as, they were like the N-words. And the elites referred to them that way. The Irish, they were discriminated against. They didn't want Irish immigrants here. They didn't want Italian immigrants. They discriminated against them. They were racist against them. They were racist against Chinese immigrants, against immigrants from Eastern Europe, Jewish immigrants, those from Greece, Gypsies, all these European countries, Irish, Italian, Polish, the Slavs, back in the day it was called Czechoslovakia, Eastern European countries, all of them. Germany, they were the N-words. They had laws, federal laws on the book, anti-immigration, things like the Chinese Exclusion Act. They had laws in the 1800s to keep out the Irish and the Italians. Don't take my word for it. You can Google this stuff right now. So this whole concept of whiteness was made up. So go ahead, vote against your own economic interests. Vote against having a union in your company, being able to join a union, to have union protections. States like South Carolina, they call them right to work. Right to work. It's really a right to work for free because they don't want you to have the protections and they don't want you to get the union wages. But the thing is that even non-union jobs and industries, they have benefited from unions. You wouldn't have 5-day work weeks and you wouldn't have child labor laws. Now in Arkansas, Miss Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders passed a law that basically got rid of like child protection labor laws. What the heck? They're 9 or 10, 11, 12. Put them in a factory. Put them in the chicken factories, you know, like the Tyson chicken factories and all these factories. Put them in the factories. They don't need to go to school. Let them work. They don't need any protections. They don't have to worry about that. They can work as many hours. Have them working 12, 16, 18 hours a day. They don't need to go to school. Okay? So your whiteness and your money, your whiteness and your wealth won't protect you if you get sideways with this MAGA cult and this Orange Hitler dude, because at the end of the day, the only person he cares about, if you don't serve his needs, he has no use for you. And he will dispose of you too. And the same thing for my Hispanic brothers and sisters. Be careful. This is the dude that said that Mexicans were rapists and they're criminals, and said that immigrants from Mexico and from crossing the southern border are poisoning the blood of our country. So he's talking about you to my Hispanic brothers and sisters. Yeah, you too, Cubans. Maybe you didn't come across the southern border, but he ain't crazy about your ass either. And my Dominican brothers, many of y'all darker than me, don't get it twisted, okay? I don't care. You can kiss ass all you want to. But the cult will come for you and your freedom. And there was a legendary poem, I can't think of the name. I'm paraphrasing, you know, it's like first it came for, you know, I'm paraphrasing. First they came for the Jews, and then they came for another group, and they came for this other group. And then one day, and when it came for the Jews, I didn't say anything because it wasn't me and my people. So I'm like, hey, we good. This ain't affecting me. Then he came for another group. Yeah, they ain't come for me, my people. I'm good. We all right. Came for another group. Didn't say anything. Then eventually, they came for him and his group. And there was nobody around to help or protect him. You can't tame the tiger. Put the tiger in your house if you want to and think you can tame it. Put a leash on it, you feed it, pet it, but the tiger will turn on your ass, and that tiger will eat you. And this tiger is a metaphor for the hate and bigotry in all of its forms, and desire for power, with the misogyny and sexism and all the other phobias, all of it. So my Hispanic brothers and sisters, he already told you, mass deportation for my Hispanic brothers and my Muslim brothers who are legitimately upset about what happened in Gaza. But you have to understand, Kamala Harris was the vice president. She was not the president. And she does not dictate policy. And no matter what you may think, because maybe you didn't take civics in school or forgot it, but the vice president serves at the, I'm trying to get the phrase that I hear them use. The vice president, like everyone else that works under and for the president, they serve basically at the behest. They serve at the request of the president. That means that their job is to implement his policies. Their job is to make him look good and to execute whatever policies and plans that he has in place and he wants. They don't run anything. They can't have their separate agenda. That would be called treason. You serve at the behest and the request of the president. And when you don't want to do that, then you have to leave. And Vice President Kamala Harris, she played her part, and she served President Biden very well, which is why he endorsed her, one of the many reasons. And she was loyal, even when some people who were really close to him, some of his closest friends politically, turned on his ass when he had that bad debate when he was ill and just was not really himself. But Kamala Harris never turned on him. And President Biden, remember that. That's one of the many reasons. As soon as he announced that he was not going to run, 20 minutes later, he publicly endorsed Vice President Kamala Harris and shut down all that talk because there was a significant number of Democrats, people in the whole Democratic Party that really wanted Vice President Biden and Vice President Harris, wanted them both out of here. They wanted them out. Governor Gretchen, now I'm not accusing her, but the chatter, trust me, I know it. I heard it. People told me they wanted Governor Gretchen Whitmer because a lot of people were still sore. There were some white women primarily that was upset that Hillary Clinton didn't win, should have won. That's another story, and felt that a white woman, if a woman is going, the first woman president should be a white woman. Now, I'm telling you what a lot of folks don't have the courage or won't come on camera and say, but I'm telling you what people have said to me and the people around me. Remember, I went to the Democratic National Convention. I did my TV show live from there, but this is what I heard before that. All right? People wanted Governor Gretchen Whitmer, and they wanted Senator Amy Klobuchar, because they've been wanting them for a while. They wanted them in 2020. Elizabeth Warren, who I admire and have a lot of respect for, but she didn't get caught up in that. Neither did Governor Gretchen Whitmer, because she's smart. Because Governor Gretchen Whitmer, as they call her up in the Detroit City, Big Gretch, understands that a significant number of her support comes from African American women and men. She's like, y'all not messing up my good thing. No. I'm chill. I'll fall back. I'll wait my turn. But what y'all not gonna do is screw up. I got a good thing going in Michigan. She got a lieutenant governor, a brother who I got a chance to meet that, and I can't think of his name. It'll come to me. Brother Gilchrist. So she's like, look, I am not getting caught up in you all's foolishness, as my grandfather called it. I can't stand foolishness. That was one of his famous quotes and pearls of wisdom. It was really just a statement, because I can't stand foolishness. And you had the governor out there in California, Gavin Newsom, with his thirsty. He looks like a slick used car salesman, like the dude that was gonna try to sell you a car. The dude that you just bought a new car from, and you come back to get your plates and title, maybe 2 or 3 weeks later, and he trying to sell you another car. It's like, damn, dude, I just got this. He just got that slick used car salesman vibe. But I digress. So now let's bring it home to the barbershop in the hood, in the community, in the culture. So I saw today the story, 2 former Pittsburgh Steelers. One of my favorite teams. I worked in Pittsburgh for 3 years, did a morning show there. Guy named Antonio Brown, complicated. Matter of fact, so complicated, one of the few players, the head coach, who's a brother, Mike Tomlin, still the head coach, one of the best head coaches in football. I can make an argument. He is the best head coach in football today, right now. But I digress. Antonio Brown, and basically, Mike Tomlin is the player's coach. The reputation has been for years. If you can't play for Mike Tomlin, dude, you can't play for nobody, especially a bruh. But Antonio Brown was so far out there, even Mike Tomlin was just tapped out on him like, hey, man, look, I'm taking my hands off. Just you go on to the Raiders, go wherever the hell you want to go, but you ain't got to go home, but you got to get the hell up out of here. Going over there to the Raiders. Good luck with that. That didn't work out. Then you tried to suck up to Tom Brady, and that didn't work out. So you couldn't play Antonio Brown for Mike Tomlin and couldn't screw the thing up with Tom Brady, and he let you chill at his house. Say less. been in trouble with the law, accused of, domestic violence. Look, I'm not throwing dirt on the dude. This is for public record. And Le'Veon Bell, who was a teammate at one time with the Steelers, pro football players, on stage in Pennsylvania, vote for Trump, vote for Trump. And then had a T-shirt, wearing a T-shirt. I saw Le'Veon Bell. I didn't see Antonio Brown. I'm sure he wore the same T-shirt that said Trump versus Tramp, or Trump or Tramp, calling his sister a tramp. Now listen, and I want to be fair with this, because I'm not going to judge the women that you all have been involved with, because Antonio Brown, you've got a history and a record, that's a public record of being accused of some form of domestic violence against women. And you got 7 kids, and that's your business and their business, about multiple partners. Le'Veon Bell, you got 7 kids by 6 different women. That's between you and them. But be very careful about calling somebody a tramp. So you call Vice President Kamala Harris a tramp, but you got multiple babies by multiple women. What does that make you, brother? Oh, I said it and I meant it. What does that make you? This laying up, having all this unprotected sex and making babies by all these different women, which don't make you a man, because DNA don't make you a daddy. I'm going to say that again. Please look at the camera. Look into my eyes. DNA don't make you a daddy. It makes you a donor. It makes you a sperm donor. What makes you a daddy is putting the work in, the time, the love, the affection, the guidance, the nurturing, the discipline, the support, the emotional, making sure that the emotional, mental, spiritual, and physical health, because it's all the above of your child or children are good, and throwing money at them it doesn't mean much. It means very little, to be honest, because when your kids are young, babies, they don't give a damn about your money. They don't want your money. They don't ask for it. They don't have any concept of money until we adults teach them. But what do they want? They want you. They want your time. They want your love and affection and nurturing and guidance. And they want you to be the wind beneath their wings, and to teach them and give them discipline and direction and wisdom. That's what they want, and that's what they need. And all the money in the world can't give them that. It can give them material things, but all the things I just discussed, the most important things, the love, the affection, the attention. When you come home and you walk in the door and they're like, Dad, and they run to you and their arms are open and they jump up and leap up in your arms, and they can't even jump up, or they just grab you around your legs and thighs and squeeze, Daddy, Daddy. That is the greatest feeling in the world. There's no drug, there's no orgasm, there's nothing, there's no chemical on this planet that can replace and give you the feeling of the unconditional love that your child gives you, especially when they're young. There's nothing in the world that can duplicate that feeling, partner. So be very careful. The pot calling the kettle black. The dudes that's had multiple babies by multiple women. One is, got a record of being accused and getting interactions with the law, having a police call for, domestic violence or domestic abuse or violence. Antonio Brown. But y'all wore a T-shirt that said Trump or Tramp, referring to Vice President, soon to be President-elect Kamala Harris. Let me tell you something, Antonio Brown. And I have love for the culture and I have love for my people, but I'm like my grandfather. I cannot stand foolishness and BS, and we don't have time for your misogyny, sexism, ignorance, selfishness, greed, or maybe you need money because Antonio Brown, you done went through a whole lot of money. And the word on the street is that, you a whole lot of money, you in a lot of debt, and you only got like $50,000 because you was blowing all that money and having all these babies by different women, which is your business. But really, dude, what were you thinking? Did you think you were gonna play this game forever? Le'Veon Bell? I don't know what your situation is, but did y'all need the money? Was it money? Did you all need the money so bad that you sold your soul, and worse than that, or just as bad, that you sold out your community, your culture, you sold out your family. You sold out the women in your family. You sold out your grandparents if they're still living, or your parents if they're elderly. You sold out yourself. And let me explain to you, Antonio Brown, Le'Veon Bell, and to any other black men, even though you all make up the small minority, you all will make up about somewhere maybe 12 to 15% of the entire black male population in America that's going to vote and that's already voted. Only about 12 or 15% of y'all gonna vote for Orange Hitler. But for you all, that small group, I want you to understand, and I tell you this is coming from a place of love, because I got love for you, and I don't want any harm to come to you, me, your family, or my family. But please understand, this is important as I get ready to wrap up this monologue. Your misogyny, your money, your fame, your sexism, your misogyny will not protect you from the hate, racism, and violence of this MAGA cult. Please understand that. I'm going to repeat that, because that doesn't just apply to Antonio Brown and Le'Veon Bell or any other, black man or black women. A few black women that's going to vote for Orange Hitler. But maybe you think that your money, or men, maybe you think your misogyny, if you act in a misogynist, sexist way like Orange Hitler, or we in the boys club, we cool, we alpha men. Your money, your misogyny, your sexism, your fame, none of that will protect you from the hate and the racism and the violence of this MAGA cult. Please understand that. And for that, you sell out your culture, but you sell out your family. Because if this dude gets back in office, and he's already said that he wants to give police officers total immunity, and he wants them to give them a day to be real violent. He said it in front of cameras at rallies. He wants the police to have one day where it can just be really rough and they can end the violence. He wants to give police, because the Supreme Court has given him total immunity when it comes to official acts. And he's already said that he will replace, you don't have to worry about your local police and the racists and the MAGA cult. He's like, no, they're not rough enough. He will send in if he gets in office. He said he's gonna send in the military. He's gonna send in the Marines and Army Rangers and the National Guard into cities like Detroit and Chicago and Atlanta and New York. What do all those cities have in common? Cities with a lot of black people. And the same for brown folks too. It's gonna deport 11 million people? Oh, guess what? Some of y'all that look like me are darker. If you speak in Spanish, they're gonna snatch your ass up too. And for my Hispanic brothers and sisters that think that you're pale skin and you're white, this will give you a pass until you open your mouth and start speaking Spanish. They're gonna snatch your ass up too. Mass deportation. He's already said he's gonna do this. Like day one, Muslim brothers and sisters. What happened in Gaza is horrible, but please understand, Orange Hitler said that he's already said that as far as he's concerned, if he gets back in office, he will tell Bibi Netanyahu, who is Israeli's version of Trump, finish the job. Because you got that, his son-in-law said, this is a beautiful lake in Gaza, the part of Gaza that's like right on the sea. He said, this would make beautiful oceanfront property. We could build all kind of property here and make lots of money. This is what they've said publicly. You'd have Gaza right here in America. This dude gets back in office. All right. Election day ends 14 days from today. Early voting in South Carolina started yesterday on Monday. I voted. As you can see, I voted. Shout out to my daughter, the baby girl, Allie Jones. She voted today. I took her. I went with her. She's got her sticker. In closing, young people, like I told her, you all, my millennials and my Gen Zs, you all have the power. And many of you all have the compassion, empathy, decency, and humanity to save the world and the planet. All this ignorance and hatred and fear and bigotry and all of its forms of racism and the misogyny and the anti-Semitism and the anti-immigrant hate and the anti-Muslim, all of it, homophobia, you all are tired of it. But you all can take control. You can change the world. You all have the power. And these old people in power are afraid that if you ever wake up and realize that literally you got the power in your hands because you have the numbers. And politics is all about numbers and turnout and persuasion. And if you all ever get to persuade each other there are more millennials, Gen Z, millennials and Gen Zers. There are more people in that age, those two age groups, than any other age group in America now. There are more millennials, Gen Zers, than there are Gen Xers, than baby boomers, the greatest generation. You all have the numbers to take control of power and to really make America live up to its promise on paper. Liberty and justice for all and all men, even though the original Constitution was so sexist and misogynistic. They didn't even mention women, all men. Well, what about women? All men are created equal. What are women? Are they equal? And oh, by the way, in that same document, Africans were 3/5 human, but that's a whole nother show. So to my millennials and my Gen Zs, you have the power. Don't despair. Don't be nervous. Don't be anxious. If you have anxiety, if you have fear, if you're nervous, take that energy and turn out. Take a whole, act like you are going to see Beyonce or Taylor Swift or Usher or 21 Savage, who's got a birthday today. Or like you're going to the Essence Festival or the NBA All-Star Weekend or the Super Bowl weekend. Show up like you're going to the Essence Festival or, like I said, the Beyonce. Get your party buses, get your Yukon luxury vehicles that you rent, all blacked out, whatever it is. Tell your church to give you the church bus. Heck, rent a CTA bus in Chicago, public transportation, or MARTA bus in Atlanta, or Carter here in Charleston, South Carolina, or whatever, the New York, one of those New York City buses in New York or Philly, whatever. Show up, stand up, show up, stand up, show out, show up to protect your freedom and your family's freedom, because it's that choice. Before I get out of here, I got a happy belated birthday, a special birthday shout out to Marie Ravenel. She was a winner on my radio show, and she's been a big fan of the show. She said, Geno, I've been watching your TV show. So Marie Ravenel, thank you. I hope you're still watching, and wherever you are, thank you for you and everybody that's been watching the show. October this month, the Geno Jones Show turned 4 years old. And it's one of the fastest growing shows on YouTube. And I'm approaching 1,000 subscribers. And my new goal is to get on top of that 1,000 more. Because I'm a YouTube partner, but I want to go to that next level to get that big YouTube bag. So thank you. Thank you, Marie Ravenel. Big shout out. Felicia Smith, she was listening. She called me on my radio show. She listens and watches. So I told her I was going to give her a big shout out. And Felicia, you asked a very poignant question. I'm trying to remember, but basically, will my vote? So Felicia said, Geno, do you think my vote matter? And I said, Felicia, if your vote didn't matter, why are so many people? She's from Atlanta, lived in Atlanta. Down in Georgia, your governor, they're doing everything they can to make it hard for people to vote. If your vote didn't matter, Felicia and everybody, then all these people in positions of power would not be working so hard. You wouldn't have all the disinformation and misinformation, and the MAGA cult and Orange Hitler wouldn't be paying black men money to come to their rally and say vote for Trump, and paying them money to call black radio stations and say I'm voting for Trump. Oh yeah, that's going on. Game recognized game. I peeped the game. I found out. Oh yeah, it was going to get back to me anyway. Yeah, they're paying. I'm sure they're probably doing it in the Hispanic community. And Elon Musk has already said he's going to give people $1 million, trying to be slick with it. So Department of Justice, Attorney General Merrick Garland, come on, dude, stand up. Stand up. Stop playing around with this. All right, so yes, Felicia Smith, your vote matters. You've got incredible power. On election day, when you vote, you have as much power as Elon Musk with his racist, sexist ass. The wealthiest, supposedly the wealthiest man on this planet. On that day, when you cast your vote, that vote has as much power as Elon Musk or any billionaire. You got the power. Don't give it away. People trying to take your power. And she said, I'm paraphrasing, do you think that we, I guess as America, will be respected? Because, men are sexist and this is the black woman. They're going to have to respect her. Because she will be the president of the United States. And that is the most powerful position on the planet. And the power that she will have the moment on January 20th, which is actually the official King holiday, that Monday, January 20th, is the King holiday, Inauguration Day, and when soon-to-be President-elect Kamala Harris raises her hand and puts that other hand on the Bible, and she is sworn in, she will be the commander-in-chief of the most powerful military in the history of humankind, with technology that you and me don't even know about, that we won't know about for another 20 years, that they know about and have access to. She will be the commander-in-chief. She will have that at her disposal. She will have control of all the nuclear weapons. They call it the nuclear football. It's like a little black case with the nuclear codes, just in case Putin loses his damn mind. Or the little crazy ass North Korean Kim Jong-un. Don't F around to find out. And soon to be President-elect Kamala Harris has showed you she's not a punk. So don't play around. You've got the power. So they will, whether they want to respect her or not, they will respect her power as the President of the United States. And they can be as sexist and misogynistic as they want to, but they won't do it to her face if they got good sense. Because the power that she will have, she can checkmate their ass like that. So don't F around and find out if you want to. So yes, Felicia, she will be respected because she may not be liked, and they will still they'll still have misogynist, sexist, and racist views about her, and probably call her all kind of N-word, B-words, but they're not gonna say it to her face, I promise you. Because they respect America's power and they need America. The world needs America. If America catches, like when America caught COVID, you see the rest of the world? All right, listen, I got to digress. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Hey, shout out to, hey, Lisa. Hey, Lisa, how are you? Thank you for watching. Of course, my mother, my number one fan. Hey, Lisa, I see you. Good. I think you're still watching. I hope you just heard your shout out and me answering your questions. So thank you for watching. Everybody, thank you for watching. A programming note, no live show. So Thursday, it'll be the best of the Geno Jones Show. Come to this channel. Come to my channel at 6:30, and you can choose and binge watch whatever episode that you want to see again, or if you missed any episode, Thursday is the time for that at 6:30, really any time, but at 6:30, come back, come to the channel and watch whatever episodes you missed or want to see again. I will be part of a live podcast that we're going to be recording. I had my guest on last week talking about doing a lot of work in the community. There's a special program for those communities, rural communities that need affordable internet access. So they're going to come back on and talk about that. So I'll be taping that Thursday. There'll be 3 Thursdays coming up within the next, I'd say, next 6 to 8 weeks, probably 4 to 6 weeks. So it'll be those Thursdays. There'll be no live show. So no live show this Thursday, but a live show is going to be fire on Wednesday and on Friday. My normal days are Monday through Friday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 in Chicago, 3:30 p.m. Eastern. Please leave your comments. So, hey, Lisa and everybody else watching me, please leave your comments. And somebody, if they were watching and if they, they had to go, Lisa and everybody else that's watching me, tell everybody that was watching to please leave their comments in the comment section for this and every episode. Tell everybody, or as my man Nelly would say, tell everybody to subscribe to the Geno Jones Show YouTube channel. That's how you spell it. Subscribe, share this episode on everybody's page. You can copy and paste the link in an email, in a text message. Share it on everybody's page that you follow, your friends, your family, your followers. You can also tag everybody, tag their social media page, binge watch all my back episodes. And once again, please leave your comments in the comment section, because YouTube, they like to see that. So they're like, okay, G, man, you doing the thing. You killing the game. Yes, I am. Shout out to Mr. Markel Bailey. He's got the big anniversary, the 1-year anniversary. Happy first birthday to Designer Cuts, one of the most incredible barbershops is more than it's like a barbering palace. Here in the Charleston, South Carolina Metro, Markel Bailey on Instagram. Kel be cutting up. He's the official barber and hairstylist for the Geno Jones Show. KELBECUTTINUP. Allie Jones, who voted today, she is the official wardrobe consultant and stylist for the Geno Jones Show. Check her out and check out her Lexi Jones collection. Fashion designer, future superstar as a fashion designer, and she's a supermodel on top of it. Check her out on Instagram, on IG, LX.NCL _ that little dash behind the second L. L like Lexi, X.N like Nanette, C like Charlie, L like Lexi. And shout out to Bruce Gage, also wardrobe consultant and stylist to the Geno Jones Show. Check out his Mario Uomo collection and Flyball collection. So just go to Instagram, type in Mario, Mario. Now Uomo, spelled with a U. It's an Italian surname. U like umbrella, O like Oprah, M like Mary, O like opera. UOMO, Mario Uomo, or Flyball. Check out the Flyball collection. Just type in. Well, just go to Mario Uomo or Bruce Gage, Gage. Thank you for watching, everybody. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you, Mother. Thank you, everybody. Shout out Marie Ravenel. Happy belated birthday. She's going to see you going Boney James. Well, have fun. Enjoy. Celebrate the whole damn month. Because in May I celebrate. My birthday's May 20th, but every day is May 20th in May, as far as I'm concerned. So just celebrate for the rest of the month. Have a great time. Happy birthday, Shaggy. Shaggy, wasn't me. Boombastic, Jamaican singer DJ. My dude, 56 today. Happy birthday to 21 Savage. 21. I don't know I don't think he's 21 today, but anyway, happy birthday to him. And shout out, happy birthday to my man, Corey Hawkins, who played Dr. Dre in the movie Straight Outta Compton. It was incredible. Boy, he nailed Dr. Dre. And he was also in the 2023 version of The Color Purple with Fantasia and Daniel Brooks, who's a native of South Carolina right here. So that was an incredible, man. Fantasia, she killed it. Thank you for watching, everybody. If you missed any of this episode, go back and binge watch it. Tell everybody to subscribe. Please share this episode. This episode was fire. Share it, copy and paste the link. Leave your comments in the comment section. Share it. tag everybody you know, share it on everybody's page, copy and paste the link in an email or text message, and like all the episodes, binge watch them too. And we'll see you live Wednesday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time, Election Day, the general election day, 2 weeks from today. Election Day ends on November 5th, but it is Election Day every day, right here, right now, for the next 14 days, somewhere in America. Vote like your life and your family's life and your friend's life depends on it, because it is a simple choice. It's not about a person or policy. Really, it is a choice between our freedom, your freedom, my freedom, and our family's freedom, or our oppression. A binary choice. That is your choice. You choose freedom or you choose to be oppressed, and vote for your own oppression. And I know you're not going to do that. Thank you for watching, everybody.
Subscribe and tune in to the next episode of The Geno Jones Show, exclusively right here on YouTube.